Je donne la parole au représentant permanent de l'Algérie.
Merci, Président. I would like to express our sincere appreciation to Mr. Filippo Grandi for his comprehensive briefing. We also commend your unwavering commitment and tireless efforts in supporting and protecting refugees across the globe. The displacement crisis continues to deepen each year. The number of displaced persons is rising systematically due to multiple, often overlapping causes, in particular armed conflicts. This alarming increase has occurred in parallel with the decline of international funding, leaving millions of vulnerable individuals without access to life-saving assistance. This situation is unacceptable and reflects a broader failure to meet the needs of displaced population. Addressing this failure is a shared responsibility that must be borne equitably by the international community. In this context, it is crucial to reaffirm the commitments we collectively undertook in adopting the Global Compact on Refugees, which calls for predictable and equitable burden sharing and responsibility sharing, and also robust support for host communities. Regrettably, both refugees and host communities often feel abandoned in this human endeavor, and we shoulder immense burdens with limited support. Mr. President, for Algeria, prevention remains the most effective strategy, addressing the root causes of displacement, including armed conflict, including foreign occupation, including underdevelopment, is imperative. This calls for a development-oriented and multifaceted approach grounded in international cooperation. Meanwhile, the global refugee crisis we are witnessing requires urgent, coordinated, and sustained actions. In this regard, I wish to highlight the following key elements. First, ensuring the protection of refugees. Refugees, as a particularly vulnerable group, including women and girls, are entitled to protection under international refugee law. Yet, in recent years, we have witnessed multiple violations of this right. Palestinian refugees, particularly those in Gaza and in the West Bank, have suffered inhuman treatment and repeated forced displacement, including the destruction of camps, destruction of refugee camps, and civilian infrastructure. The international community Especially this Security Council must fulfill its legal and moral obligations to protect these persons and uphold international humanitarian law. Second, mobilizing adequate and predictable funding. The ongoing financial crisis facing UNHCR and other humanitarian actors severely limits their capacity to deliver essential services. This is unacceptable. It must be emphasized that most refugee hosting countries are themselves developing countries. Their effort to provide sanctuary and services, basic services, should be matched by the donor community. International support must not be seen as charity, but as part of a shared global responsibility grounded in the principle of international solidarity. It should not also be subjected to political calculation and condition, or used as a tool for diplomatic bargaining. Third, Mr. President, combating misinformation and xenophobia, targeting refugees. Misinformation campaigns and inflammatory rhetorics put refugees' life at risk, fueling xenophobia and violence in host countries. These harmful narratives must be countered. Public awareness campaigns are essential to ensure that host communities are sensitized and that refugees are protected while awaiting durable solutions in accordance with international law. Mr. President, for over half a century, Algeria, my country, has hosted Sahrawi refugees in the Tindouf camps. These people were forcibly displaced due to the Moroccan occupation of their homeland. Throughout this period, 50 years, despite huge challenges, Algeria, in cooperation with UN agencies and humanitarian partners, has consistently ensured access to basic services for Sahrawi refugees. However, a durable solution is needed. This must include enabling Sahrawi refugees to exercise their inalienable right to self-determination through a free and fair referendum, as enshrined in international law and UN resolution. The decision about the future of the Sahrawi refugees is and must always rest with them. The rights of the Sahrawi refugees are inalienable. They cannot be, they must not be compromised or subjected to transactions under any circumstances. To conclude, Mr. President, I wish to underscore the fundamental principle that refugees must be allowed to live in dignity. This is their right as human beings. Also, a safe, dignified, and voluntary return to their home is a cornerstone of international refugee law. It must be respected. It must be upheld and never compromised. Let's work together to preserve the dignity of refugees and allow them enjoying their right, their full rights. I thank you.
Je remercie le représentant permanent de l'Algérie de sa déclaration.